Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lyanne. For those of you who are new, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are a returner, as always, thank you for rocking with your girl. Today is gonna be a quick little video. It's gonna be real quick. And I just want to talk about how my notes have really transformed my exam grades and my quiz grades for nursing school. So I just want to kind of quickly go over how I do my notes and how I study for school. For those of you who do not know, I'm in my third term out of 5 terms in my program. So we're currently in our maternity OB era. So yeah, I'm actually excited about it because I want to be an L&D nurse. So yeah, but I just got my grade back from our professor from our very first maternity exam, and y'all, I got a 97%. Okay, yeah, that's like the best grade that I've gotten throughout my whole program on any exam. And then on our quiz prior to that, I got 100%. So I feel like I kind of got a good groove and system on what works, at least for me, in terms of taking notes and studying for exams. So I just thought I would share it real quick. Okay, so let's get into it because I ain't trying to make this a long video. Okay, so the first thing I do is I do read my book, y'all, and I know that's a little controversial and the girls like to tussle. I like to tussle about that one, but I do read my book. One, because my school actually takes questions out of the book, so it's like no way around it. Like, we gotta read our book. Okay. Two, I bought these books, I'm paying for them. I read. It helps me. I read. Now, you can do what I do, whether you read the book or just watch videos, or if you do a combination of both, it all works pretty much the same. Okay, so basically step one is to read your book or watch your videos, whatever it is that you do, and take all of the important information out of, y'all better calm down. Read your book, watch your videos, whatever it is that you do, take all the important information from those resources. Okay, so for instance, for the book, there are words that are italicized, bold, there are blue words in there, there are definitions, there are signs and symptoms, interventions, complications. All of those things are always going to be things that are important to know when you're nursing and for when you're taking your exams. So all of that stuff, I make sure that I highlight so I can go back when I make my notes and take that important stuff out of the book. So I highlight all of that stuff. Anything that is in a box that has like you know, signs and symptoms or signs of something, risk factors, anything that gives you like bullet points, I try to make sure I highlight those too. If it's not like a really big box, like, you know, some of them be like this big and it got like 87 things in it, those I might not do because it's just a lot of typing. But the small boxes that have like a couple bullet points, especially if they are really important and pertain to, you know, what we need to know, those I make sure that I circle as well so I can go back and add those to my notes. So after I read my book, so after I read the book, step 2 is to make notes. So I have a document that is just running notes for my maternity class for the entire term. So what I do is I start my headings just based on whatever week we on. So I have week 1, week 2, week 3, etc., etc., etc. Okay. And then I just go through and I make my notes. So the way I do my notes is I will typically like put whatever is like a actual main subject of a whatever is an actual main subject of a section in the book, I will put that in like bigger bold letters, and then all of the sub points up under it will be like in smaller letters. And then I just try to go through and break it down as like, I'll put a little picture on the side so you guys can kind of see like what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. So then I'll just go through and I'll put like anything that is under that big bold main section in smaller sub points. Now, the key to like not getting overwhelmed and making the most out of your notes is to only take the stuff that is important. Okay, the book especially is going to have a lot of filler words. It has a lot of stuff that is like just explaining the process, but not really like just narrowing down all the key points. The purpose of making my own notes is to just narrow down the key points. Like, what is it that I really need to know? What is it that is going to make this person's condition really bad? What is it that's going to make this person's condition better? What are our interventions going to be? What are the signs and symptoms? Like, those are things I'm going to put in my notes, because those are the things that we're going to be tested over, right? So I try to make sure that when I make my notes that, yes, I want them to be detailed and I want the information, but I want it just to be the stuff that actually matters. You have to be a little decisive and have a little discernment about like what you really need to know, and what is like good to know, and what's kind of like, okay, I read it and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? So remember that. Don't just write every single thing in the book. Write the stuff that actually matters. What is the thing that is going to matter to you as a nurse, as an intervention, as a sign and symptom, as mechanism of action? Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, what is the stuff that matters? Okay. Number 2, what I do for myself, because I'm a visual learner, and if you're a visual person, then this might help you as well. And even if you're not very visual, it could potentially still help you. So what I do is, if I have signs and symptoms of a disease process, what I will do is I will actually try to find a picture online that has like a person that has that disease, if that makes sense. So for instance, like Cushing's disease, we did that in med-surg last term. I found a picture online of, you know, the little cartoon of the person who has Cushing's. You know, they're in a cushion, they're big, and it literally is like the picture presentation of a person who has Cushing's disease, and it lists like all the signs and symptoms. So then when I'm taking my test, I can think like, oh, Cushing's, and the picture will pop up in my head, and I can literally pick out all the signs and symptoms. So when I go through and do my notes, I will add the picture that will help me remember something next to either the definition or the signs and symptoms. So like right now we're in maternity and we just learned fetal heart rate. So I literally took all the little pictures of the moderate, absent, minimal fetal heart rate that will show on a monitor and put it next to the definition. So when I think of it, I could think, oh, okay, so moderate is good and it looks like that. Minimum doesn't really come off the line. Or absent doesn't come off the line at all. Minimum barely comes off the line. Okay, so I can picture it in my head because I have those pictures there. So when I go through and review my notes, I could look easily and quickly and see like, okay, these two coincide. The next thing I do is when we go to lecture, I try to pay attention to anything that my professor is like really harping on, or is like, you guys really need to know this. This is important. Pay attention to this. I will go through in my notes and highlight, bold, underline, all of that. Okay. And I try to do it in different colors. So just for me mentally, like it can stand out. But anything that they say that is of importance, I will go through and highlight in my notes so I know you need to know that. Okay. Then what I would do is after our lectures for the week, I will go through everything that the professor like noted and said that we need to know. And I take that and I put that in a separate document that is strictly going to be for upcoming quizzes and exams. Okay. So I take anything that was super important, anything that the professor, you know, said, hey, you guys need to know this, keep an eye out, blah, blah. I'll put that in a separate document that is strictly for like, okay, these are going to be for my upcoming quiz, exam, etc. Okay. So then when it's time for me to study, I have just this document that has everything that is important listed on it. Okay. I also will go and watch videos from Nurse Sarah and from Simple Nursing, and anything that they like highlight or is like in the study guide for Simple Nursing, I will highlight that stuff as well, because even if it's not necessarily like going to be something that is going to be on the exam for my school, if it's something that's going to be on the NCLEX, it's still going to be something that's important to know. So I will go through and highlight that stuff as well, so I can make sure that I'm learning it and retaining that information as well. And sometimes those do help because they do be on current exams as well. So now that I got all the notes and stuff ready to go, I have my little my exam study guide that I make for myself, because our school does not give us study guides. We don't have like, we don't get nothing. We don't even get our PowerPoints, okay? So we getting out the mud right now. We getting it out the mud, okay? But so once I have my exam study guide all made up and it's time to start really preparing for our exam, I do the active recall method. And I know everybody says this, but when I tell y'all, it actually works. And I feel like even if you don't do it to the point where like you're writing it out three or four times and you're getting every single thing right, even if you write it out, erase it, write what you can remember, then go in and fill in what you missed once or twice, you will retain so much information. So much, okay? So I do the active recall, and I try, like I just said, I try to do each subject or each point that I want to remember or want to know at least twice. And I feel like that helps. If I have more time to do, you know, do it more, then I will. But if I don't have a lot of time, or if I'm going over a lot of information, I'll do it like at least twice, so I can at least know the main points that I need to know for that specific topic. Another thing that I do is I like to go and just kind of write out what I know. So I'll look at my syllabus and I'll pick out a topic that, you know, we learned about within the past couple of weeks that'll be on our exam, and then I would just get my whiteboard and I'll just write out what I know about it. What do you remember about this? What do you know? What would be an intervention for this, right? And that actually helps me see like how much I actually already remember, what I'm missing, if I'm mixing up information. That helps me a lot, because I can go through and write out and see what I know, and I'll go back and look at my notes and say, okay, yeah, you got that right, or no, that doesn't apply to that at all. So that helps me see what I'm actually retaining, so then that way I can focus on other things in terms of studying, because I might not need to focus so much on what the signs and symptoms of these STDs are, but I really need to know what the signs and symptoms of UTI is, because I got that mixed up. So those two things really help me see like what I know and help me actually study for exams. Then the last thing is, I know everybody says it and it's because it works, is practice questions, okay? Practice questions really do test your knowledge, and it tests the way that you apply knowledge, but it also gets you in a mindset of being able to actually like eliminate wrong choices and focus on what the question is actually asking you, because you'll be surprised how many people fail exams because they're not reading the question properly. Like honestly, just because you miss one little word in that exam, you got the answer wrong. So practice questions are always key. If you're not able to do practice questions, or if you don't like them, I feel like doing all the other steps will still help you learn and remember the information. But practice questions are really essential in helping you apply information. Okay, so if you can do practice questions, please do them. But for my last exam, I didn't even do any practice questions. Like, I tried to find practice questions on Evolve and in the NCLEX Saunders book, and all of the practice questions that I was coming across for the material that I needed was not helping, like nowhere to be found. So I really wasn't able to do a lot of practice questions to prepare for my exam, and I still had a 97%. So I feel like doing these steps really are beneficial in, you know, retaining information and passing your exams and actually knowing like what you need to do. So yeah, I hope this video helps. I'm sorry if it seems like a little rushed or quick, but I just didn't want to make it like a long video. But yeah, I hope it helps. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions or any advice for any other nursing students, put it in the comments. But yeah, good luck, and I really do hope it helps y'all, because it's helped me a lot. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to keep up with me and my nursing journey, and I will drop any more tips if you guys want me to. Just let me know. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.